Start the timer.
There you go,
Let me just make sure it's all on properly.
On your lucky.
That's good.
You've got a good following here, haven't you?
Yeah.
He's well known in the community, mate.
It's episode.
Episode 5 of the Gabcha Football Podcast.
Alright, in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to episode 5 of the Gabcha Football Podcast, sponsored by Gabcha Inclusive. I'm Lachlan Brown, 28 years old, I've got autism, and I'm passionate about my footy. Today we've got former St Kilda and Central's legend Daniel Healy on board. First question, what are your thoughts about St Kilda playing on Gabba round next week against Collingwood?
First of all, great to be here with you, Lachlan. Thank you for the invite. It'll be great to have them all in Adelaide, won't it? It's great to see the Saints up and about and making a good start to the year.
Yeah, hopefully they get the win against Collingwood.
Definitely.
Number 2, what was your junior football club growing up back in the day?
So I grew up in a small country town called Healy Bridge. Anyone heard of Healy Bridge?
Yeah.
Couple. So about an hour from here, north of Gawler. So grew up in a country town, about 500-600 people.
Yeah.
We only had under 13s and under 17s. So I played there until I was about 16 before I came to town and played footy in town.
Yeah. Number 3, what are your thoughts about being drafted on the same year and same team as Big Bad Barry Hall?
Well, it's a bit embarrassing because I was drafted before him, and he went on to be a fairly awesome player, and I sort of didn't. So it's a bit embarrassing. Brent Harvey also got drafted that year. Did you know that?
He was 47th in that draft by North Melbourne, and that was the same draft where a few recycled players got taken.
That's it.
Like Hawthorn picking Brendan Crumble picked before you.
Yes. Who was number 1 pick that year?
Clive Waterhouse.
Yeah. Good, isn't he? I was really excited to get drafted. Obviously, I would love to play a lot more, but getting to the Saints was good fun.
Yeah. Question number 4, who was your favourite football coach in your career?
My favourite coach would probably be the one who gave me my first league game at Central, so Alan Stewart. He was responsible for turning Centrals from being a pretty ordinary club into being much more taken seriously and much more professional. So Alan Stewart probably.
Centrals, they also had Peter Jonas as coach in 2000, and they had Alistair Clarkson. Yeah. What were your thoughts about being coached by future AFL super coach Alistair Clarkson?
Yeah, he was great, and we could tell then he was really smart and he was going places. So it's not surprising to see how he's done. He was a fantastic coach. So, and Jonah was great, and then Roy Laird took on after that. And he obviously has got how many premierships did Roy Laird get?
He actually helped Centrals win 7.
Did he? Yeah, it's fantastic.
Turns out that one time in your career, you actually played against Alistair Clarkson.
I played against Alistair Clarkson
when he was at Melbourne.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Something I didn't even know. Here we go.
Number 6, did you ever get dragged off before by Stan Owers and Tim Watson at St Kilda?
Sadly, yes. Back in those days, they didn't rotate off the bench so often. You'd find yourself sitting on the bench. Some days I'd sit there for 2 or 3 quarters and not even get a run on. So unfortunately, the answer to that is yes. Question
number 7, what was it like winning the reserve grade Brownlow medal in 1999, which was the last one?
It was. It's a good quiz question, isn't it? It was a bit bittersweet because what it meant was I wasn't good enough to get a game in the seniors. So and it was my last year at Saints. I got delisted after that. So whilst it was nice to get the recognition, I would have much rather be playing in the seniors.
But what did you do with all your Guernseys back in your St Kilda and Central's days?
Some of them are still in the cupboard, but a lot of my nephews and cousins have grabbed hold of them, and they're strewn around the country somewhere. So hopefully they get used a bit.
Yeah. What was your favourite shoe brand and what shoe size?
Footy boot, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a Puma King man.
Yeah.
So the black and white Puma Kings.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have a pair of Adidas, the black and white Copa Mundials, but I never got some. So Pumas were mine.
Next question was what was it like coaching North Adelaide back in 2009 and 2010?
Lucky, I was hoping you wouldn't bring this bit up.
Sorry about that, man.
I learned a lot. I had a great experience. It didn't quite go as well as I would have liked. There was a lot of politics involved. I learned a lot about how to deal with politics and committees, but another great experience in my life.
Yeah. Next question, what was it like kicking a winning goal on your 24th birthday at Subiaco in 1998?
That was a pretty special day. to go over there and kick 6 goals. I would love to do it more often, but yeah, it's a pretty special day. Occasionally it comes up on Fox Footy. I try and get my kids to watch it, but I can't get them to show any interest, unfortunately. But yeah, it was a pretty cool day.
Question number 12. What Saints fans would like to know what you're now doing these days?
So the business that I part own now is called Leading Team. So I work with teams and groups of people in business and in sport to try and help them get along better and work on their culture. That business originated at Centrals and at St Kilda, where I started all those years ago. So I feel a real strong connection to what I do, which is really lucky.
Sometime after this interview is over, would you like to have a look around the Atherstone change rooms?
I would love to do that.
And with them having an inclusive team this year, which position do you reckon I'd play? Probably more up forward or probably up in the ruck?
Just stand up again for me, can you?
Lucky.
I'm going to say probably centre half forward.
Yeah, bit like a Wayne Carey from back in the day.
That's what I'm thinking, you know?
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Question number 15. What was it like winning 5 flags at Centrals? Do you feel like you're the king of Hamley Bridge?
Do you know what? When I